Yo, what's up, guys? Brian here with Clips or Die, and Clippers basketball is back for the 25-26 season. And if you're like me and a lot of other Clipper fans that I know, you probably have been looking forward to this all off season. I mean, I'm the type of fan that as soon as the playoffs end, which usually for a Clippers fan, there's a lot of disappointment. For instance, for me this past season after that loss to Denver, I took a couple days, probably like two or 3 days, to go through the stages of grief, and then finally get my excitement going again, especially once free agency started and the Clippers were able to pick up some pretty good players, with additions of like Chris Paul, Brooke Lopez, and John Collins. I think definitely the Clippers were able to do some stuff during this off season that was able to get, you know, fans excited for the upcoming year. I know for me, I'm usually excited, even though I've been a fan for years and I've constantly had that disappointment year after year. I think that the improvements that were made during free agency this summer were actually pretty good ones, and ones that actually improved the team a little bit from last year. So being on that topic, actually, let's talk about the season expectations. I would say that I had pretty high expectations for this upcoming season based off of the performance that we had last season. Even though we didn't meet those expectations in the playoffs, I feel like it was a pretty competitive series with the exception of Game 7. And I felt that if we made minor improvements to the team during the offseason, that we could definitely have a better chance this upcoming season at winning the championship. And I think those moves definitely address some of the needs by adding some size, definitely with John Collins, and having a definite, an actual backup center by picking up Brooke Lopez as opposed to having, third stringers or like people that aren't even in the league anymore, like Kai Jones, Moses Brown, who was barely playable in past seasons. I think Brooke Lopez is one of the, most solid backup centers that we've had since probably Hartenstein was on the team. So yeah, I think we made some really good additions this offseason for this upcoming 25-26 season. With that being said, I do feel like I had really high expectations going into this season. Primarily, I kind of had the Clippers in top four in the West, probably in this order with OKC, the Rockets, Denver, and then Clippers. And then from there, it's the Wild West. And honestly, the Clippers could go down and drop down, or at least that was my preseason prediction kind of a thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that the Clippers have the opportunity to be a contender this year. They have a very deep bench, and there's an opportunity for them to do really well. So we'll just have to see how that goes. But with that being said, some of those expectations dropped significantly with the first game of the season, with the Clippers playing against Utah and getting completely blown out by the Utah Jazz, which, to be completely honest, that was not something that I had anticipated or something that I had expected. And I think a lot of fans were extremely disappointed by that performance. And, I would say I give them a little bit of leeway in the sense that, the Utah Jazz is a young team. They want to go out, they want to give their crowd and their fans a good show, especially on opening night. You definitely don't want to lose. And they do have a couple of talented players like Lauri Markkanen, and Kessler as well. So I would say they definitely surprised me by their performance during that game. And to be honest, since I was going to be going to the home opener, which is the next topic I wanted to talk about, I was a little bit disappointed, but you know what? I was like, I'm just going to brush off that Jazz game and just pretend that it didn't happen, and then just move forward and get excited about the home opener, which I was super excited for. So yeah, home opener to me, that's like Christmas Day. I look forward to it all off season, the start of the new season essentially, and of course our first home game of the season. And I was able to make it to the Suns Clippers home opener last year, which was the opener of the Intuitdome, which is a really good time. I really, really enjoyed that. And so I really wanted to make it out again this year. And I had the opportunity to make it out this year. I'm really happy I was able to do that. And yeah, I had a lot of fun. The opener atmosphere was great. I think the turnout was pretty good, especially considering that you had the World Series game going on. So I'm actually surprised that, a good amount of fans actually showed up. And of course, we were playing against the Suns, a very different Phoenix Suns team, albeit, but the Suns nonetheless, who pretty much swept us last year in all games that we played against them. So it was a little bit exciting and almost like a little bit, hopefully, get payback, even though it's a little bit of a different team. But still, it was a really good time. I was able to record a vlog. So if you're interested in checking that out, please check that out. I did also talk about giving away a lanyard to one of you guys in that video. So if you want to check it out in the description, go ahead and click on that. All that I'm asking is that you're, one, subscribe to the channel. Two, you go ahead and you comment go clips on that vlog opener video. And then you follow me on either my X or my Instagram account. And then from there, I'll just pick a random winner. But yeah, definitely, if you're interested in that, go ahead and check out the video in my description. But yeah, other than that, the home opener was great. It was a blowout. By the fourth quarter, I think we ended up leaving with like 5 minutes left in the quarter. And overall, I had a really good time. And I think it kind of took away some of that sour taste that I had from the Utah game. And I think for a lot of fans it did, just because the team looked a lot better. The energy was a lot better in that game, which was definitely a problem, I think, against Utah. Utah game kind of felt flat. It felt like it was just a continuation of the Game 7 against Denver Nuggets. So overall, I think that the Phoenix game was a lot better, and I'm happy with the performance that the guys had. So now I want to talk about the Warriors game. Man, the Warriors game, the Warriors game was just a disappointment. I was really looking forward to the Warriors game because I felt like this was going to be the actual first like true test of the season. The reason I say is, the Utah Jazz, we should have won that game. The Phoenix Suns, a significantly different Phoenix Suns team, and I don't really expect them to be competitive in the West at all. So again, that's a win. And then the Trailblazers, young team, but Dame Lillard's out, and even though they have those young pieces, I don't really or didn't really expect them to be very competitive this year. So that's a win. So in reality, I had the Warriors as one of the better teams in the West, I would say. They're probably up there with like Clippers, the Spurs, the Lakers, maybe Minnesota. I don't know, depending. I know Ant Edwards is injured right now, but the Warriors, I think, was going to be like one of our first tests, and I was really hopeful to see, something good out of this Clippers team, but the performance that we got was far from it. The one thing that I've been noticing that I think really stood out with this Warriors game is just the team is not gelling yet. It feels like the team is still getting to know each other. Obviously, you added a lot of new pieces and whatnot. So you're trying to figure out how they work with one another. I was hoping that, with them having had the training camp together, which Kawhi hasn't had the opportunity to be a part of, I don't think he was, at least last year, that would maybe help. But yeah, I think to me that was the biggest takeaway that I had from that game, was just that the team was very stagnant. It felt like the passes just felt like, I don't know if they were just bad passes or if they were just like lazy passes that they were throwing to one another, but it felt like there was a lot of dumb turnovers. It really felt like they were taking forever to get into plays during the game. And even then, it felt like there wasn't really much offense flowing. To me, when the Clippers team has looked best in the past, at least, is when they're moving the ball and they're working with one another. You're getting those assists going. You're getting that ball movement going. I know that the Clippers have always generally been a slower team, and that's fine with me. But the problem is when you're a slower team, you bring it up, you take forever to get into a set, and then from there, you just end up playing ISO ball and just chucking up a shot that doesn't go in. And that was the other problem, is that the field goals were not going in. which luckily I guess our defense was fine because the Warriors managed to only like score 90 something points. So they scored less than 100 points that game, which was actually a little bit surprising to me. But our shots were just not falling, and obviously you can't win a basketball game if your shots aren't falling. So I think I looked up the stats, and from 3 point range, the Clippers made 6 out of 33 shots. 6 out of 33 shots, which comes out to 18%, guys. How bad is that? And then versus, I think you can guess in the comments how much you guys think that the Warriors shot. They shot 37% from 3 point range. So I don't know how you're gonna win a basketball game when that's the case. Along with that, one other thing that really stood out to me when I was looking at the stats was just the assist. The Warriors had significantly more assists. I think almost double the assist than the Clippers did. So they actually had the ball going, and they were actually trying to run plays and stuff. So I would say that would be the biggest thing with this Clippers team during that Warriors game, was just those couple of things, just the offense not flowing, players not gelling together, relying a lot on ISO ball. And then too, like, I don't know what happened with Harden, but like Harden just had a bad half. The second half, I think, of that game was just not good. And then, I don't know. I feel like sometimes when Kawhi should step up a little bit more, he kind of lacks a little bit into stepping into that like superstar range, which I know that Kawhi's great. And I mean, to be honest, I think that he's in great shape coming into the season. It's just that there's sometimes as a fan that I wish that he just gave that little bit of extra performance. But it's the beginning of the season, so I'll give him that little bit of slack. So I mean, should we be worried about this? In my opinion, as a fan, I don't think that we should be too worried about this. I would say, kind of like I just mentioned with the Warriors game, the shots weren't falling, and that's one game. So let's see how we go moving forward, and let's see how this team continues to shoot the ball. Hopefully they get a little bit better at shooting the ball as kind of the season goes on. I mean, you're going to have to. I know Bradley Beal's out, so that kind of hurts us as well. Norm's gone, guys. We traded Norm, right? Obviously, you probably know that. But with Norm gone, Norm was a big part of our offense, especially when Kawhi was out last season. And though he wasn't great defensively, he really picked up some of that slack offensively. So the Clippers are going to have to find a way to make it work, and hopefully they can get it together. But as a fan, honestly, I'm not going to be too worried, or I'm not worried too much right now, and I don't think you should be either. I think the Warriors game is going to hopefully be an outlier when we kind of reflect and look back at the first few games of the season. And we'll just have to see how it goes from there. But as a fan, I really wouldn't be too worried. Really, the things like I kind of mentioned, I think the things we need to look out for as fans are, if they start to play better, start running more plays, start working better with one another, getting more assists going, getting more people engaged, and not waiting so long before, getting into plays. Hopefully those shots start falling a little bit more. And we'll go from there and see what this team looks like. But I would say let's give it like a first, 10, 15 games to see. I would say 10. But at 10, we'll see where that goes. And hopefully we're looking like a better team. But we have the Pelicans up next on Halloween. So hopefully that goes pretty well. I know historically the Pelicans have, been pretty tough in previous years, so we'll see. Jonas Valanciunas isn't on there anymore, so hopefully, he's not murdering us every time we play him. I feel like he always goes crazy from 3. But guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.